Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script.
It. We'll fix it in post.
Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Well, whenever time that you're watching or listening, thank you for listening. This is Kevin Mumphrey, and with my colleagues, Carson Hype Ferguson and Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
And this is We Will Fix It in Post. Today, we'll talk about a form of television that is basically on every channel there is, and that is reality television.
Boo. Man.
So I was going to ask how y'all felt about it, but okay.
Man, hey, I'm gonna let Kirsten start this off.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan
at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not just a little bit. Like
you know, back in the day, I probably watched The Real World when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about first two seasons. Actually, nah, probably one of the first two seasons.
Because it started off in the early 90s.
Yeah, early seasons. So before they did the Gauntlet and everything else. After that, I was like, ugh, Rock of Love. Ugh.
Rock of Love. Hey, what is that one?
You wait, what? You don't know about Rock of Love?
Was it?
No, there's been so many of them.
What's the dude's name? It was basically a spinoff of the Flavor Flav thing.
Yeah.
Or it was a
or Tila Tequila. Have you ever seen
Now
that?
I remember that one.
Man,
I remember that one.
Trash.
Oh God.
But you gotta look at certain reality shows though.
Trash.
You know,
Flavor of Love.
So I'll
Garbage.
probably the first one, Cops. Do y'all remember?
Nah,
Of course.
you know what?
of course everybody remembers Cops.
I used to mess with Cops. And then I started listening to the Locks. Then no more Cops. For real. Me, my dad, my sister, and my mom a little bit, but then she I just got done with it. But we were watching Cops. We yo, run. Or no.
But see,
don't do
that's
that.
what I think was made it so good, because
Don't do that.
it almost pretty much kind of showed what a cop goes through.
Yeah.
And it felt real.
Yeah.
So you almost felt like you was really in this home invasion.
Was it Geraldo Rivera actually was the driving factor behind that? He did a little interview series.
Was this the thing with going to the Al Capone chest?
That was one of the episodes, I think. But they actually did it, and one of his producers, I think, stepped away with that same concept that he was doing, and moved it over there. And it was Cops, and it was my uncle was on it twice.
On Cops?
Yeah, not running.
Okay, because I was going to ask.
He's
I need some details.
What?
He's a beat cop in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you probably should have led with that.
And then
I'm what episode is this? Let me go to YouTube real quick.
when he was a little bit more higher or whatever, he's on it again.
Oh.
It wasn't too far between.
Right.
But,
Well, at the same time, it's I have a love-hate relationship with it. Some shows are good, the makeover shows and stuff like that. Biggest Loser. Those are inspirational.
I say first two seasons.
Episodes.
I say first two seasons where it was actually real people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a caricature. Let me break it down. The biggest reason why I don't like reality TV is because it's not real.
Of course it's not.
It's scripted. Most of it.
Yeah.
Most of it. Every now and again, they have a bunch of scripted people, and they put that regular person in there, and then he be acting like you would act. That's kind of entertaining, but I can catch that clip on Facebook or wherever.
It's kind of like Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Now that's the
man.
I wasn't gonna bring that up to way to the end.
No, listen.
That's,
let me tell you a little bit of something. I used to watch the first two seasons of Love and Hip Hop. I would watch it and I would just look, and I'm like, yeah, that's fake. Yeah, they redid that. Yeah, that's totally fake right there. and I would tell people, hey, all this is fake, and they would get mad
people
at me.
can't. Y'all feel say, people can't stand you for ruining it.
They got mad at me because I would tell them, hey, this stuff isn't real, it's scripted, and they would argue with me, no, it's not, and I'm just like, will you look at this? Let me rewind this back. Look at that.
See, yeah, people can't
You see
stand
that? You see that right there? You see how they came down the hallway? You see how they put this together, cut this together? No, you're wrong. For real?
Nah, people want to suspend disbelief. Like one of my homeboys used to he did the semi-professional pro wrestling, and he said people would like run up on him when they made him a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People run up on him after the thing, be like, "Oh, I ain't like what you said about the crowd."
But that's also
I'm like that's so silly.
for wrestling. That's almost like really good, kind of good acting too, because you make like people like are emotionally invested to make someone you don't know hate
like,
your guts.
Yeah, but like I used to watch that stuff, and like I go back and look at it now, and I kind of cringe because that's not good acting. I don't care who you are.
I mean, to me, like now,
It's entertaining.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. Some of the stuff is funny.
Right.
Like back in the day,
like with The Rock.
when
he would cut a promo.
No, when The Rock was with the Nation, when they made him a heel.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. Like when was it Brother Farouk?
Yeah.
Like he gave everybody like these nice gifts. He gave this dude a watch. He gave this dude this. He gave this dude this. And he gave this dude a portrait of himself, like an oil painting. And like in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do that when I get some money. I'm gonna get people oil paintings of myself.
Right.
I'm gonna give it to them. And
And then before you get to them, go like, I just wanted to give you something to kind of help spice up your house.
I'm not even gonna lie. If you gave me a portrait of yourself, I probably would burn it in front of you. And I would be like, oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, nah, like it's gonna be like old boy from Ghostbusters, like the Conqueror dude, the Vlad dude or whatever. You know the one that came out the painting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know you're
I'm
talking about.
gonna be like a conqueror, man. I'm gonna have like a sword. There's gonna be like a rock over here and like a little dragon in the background.
Yeah, that's not going to my house.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
I'm kind of with
That's
Victoria
gonna be
on
like a birthday present too. I'm like, here you go, man.
You give me an oil painting of yourself.
No, I'll put it in the
my
bathroom.
It's gonna be wrapped up.
I'm not. Can you imagine having to go really bad and just seeing a portrait of himself?
Because it'll make me laugh every time I sit on the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah, that's me right there.
Nah.
And every single time I'm sitting on the toilet, I'll send him a picture of himself.
This has gotten really gross.
Like for real though, like the whole like fakeness of reality TV, I can't really mess with. I just,
Now, would you also think because it's so many? So I was checking from like 2000 to now. Would you kind of want to guess how many reality shows have been on there?
1,000.
1,000.
No, good Lord, no, it's not thousands. It's like over 300.
That's still way too many.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, and you got to think like that's 300 shows, and then each one at least had what?
And
2
those
seasons?
are just the ones that aired.
2 seasons.
There's some that you got to think like Hilton's that thing. Some last like 2 to 5.
Yeah, like typically they
I
get
think
2
Big
seasons.
Brother is still on there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's still on
It
there.
is.
Um,
But that's not the scripted reality TV.
it's
know.
still considered reality, and I always think of it kind of like the real world.
Mhm.
When in actuality, you're just kind of, they always like looking at it now. They look like mouse traps. It's probably a horrible way to describe it, but
it's probably really good.
it's
It's
like
probably
put
pretty
it-
accurate.
you put someone in a little mouse maze, and you just watch them figure their way out of it.
Yeah.
Or like with the real world, when you pick people, you get one person, you figure their personality, and the next person you pick completely conflicts with that personality.
Yeah.
So I know you two are going to conflict.
Uh-huh.
And you just kind of, or you also add, okay, somebody who they'll be attracted to.
Jersey Shore.
Now that's another interesting thing. So I'll use Love and Hip Hop. So Love and Hip Hop, the brand,
Yeah.
is usually, I think the only person that's probably bigger than the brand of Love and Hip Hop is like Cardi B and Joe Budden. So if you're trying to come to me, I can charge you whatever, I can pay you whatever I see fit. And
Right.
with reality television, it's really cheap to do. It's one of the
Very
reasons.
cheap.
Now you know it's even cheaper. That one joint where I definitely can't sit down and watch a whole episode, but every now and again people be pulling the clips
Yeah.
and doing videos on YouTube. The Married Abroad or no. It's like 30 Day Fiance or
Yeah,
90 Day
yeah.
Not
90 Day
90 Day.
Fiance.
90 Day.
Yeah.
Man,
there's some.
I can watch 30 days of it,
There's some train wrecks.
and I don't know why. I love it.
Nah, man.
It's come on. Like how, and here's the thing. This is what really tripped me out about this show. That's a lot of money you got to spend going back and forth to these countries.
And guess what?
And they're not paying not a dime of it.
Well, no, like they're not paying the dime for that. They may pay the person, like the American, but because of the way the laws are, they can't pay the foreigner.
Yeah, I
So,
did hear
so
that.
that's like
Right.
it's like free. The person's doing it anyway. They're exposing themselves, looking crazy, basically putting all the money into it, and they just over on
free.
the side be like, ha ha ha.
And how many they got like 3 or 4 versions of it. There's a whole franchise out of that.
Man, like I'm like, man, this is so toxic.
It is, but it's
And then like
I love
Most
it.
all of reality television is toxic.
like
Toxic. We should not even be looking at this stuff.
man, like what is it?
I'm sorry, I do. I do.
Well, everybody does. Everybody looks
and
at
I know it's bad. Like even I used to love watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love this type of stuff.
Say what?
I
That's
am.
something new that I
I
learned
am.
about Kevin today.
I can be a very romantic person. I'm also an asshole, so the two doesn't necessarily work well together. But at this point, you think like, how, in what real life situation would 30 women stay in a house and act a complete
Money.
ass to make a fool
Money.
to get one guy's attention?
I'm telling you, man, money.
How much? How much?
What's the price?
What's the price for you to get on the Bachelor?
300,000. People are cheap. I'm telling you right now.
That's the price for you?
No, I'm
Yeah,
telling,
I'm saying
I'm telling you,
for
average
you.
person. For me, like you can't get me under there unless I'm going to get some real money.
'Cause-
I mean, change
300,000
life
I
money.
don't-
You ain't got to do no work money. I mean, show money, blow money, fast money, slow money.
So
I-
you
like,
said
for
the
real,
you said
I
the,
like-
the money. You said you think they probably paying like 300,000.
I was like 300,000 or whatever to an
Now-
average person.
Now you meaning from a person who's trying to get like the Bachelor or the Bachelorette themselves or the contestants?
I'm talking about the contestants. Like
300.
like the Bachelor, you know, they're probably gonna make some more money than that. They're probably
They are,
a
but-
business. They're probably a business person, and they're using it either as like stepping stone or whatever.
But yeah, exactly. So there's also this like high. I don't know if it's the highest now, but this desire for fame.
Oh yeah, like,
So that cheapens it.
It's
No, no,
mostly
like,
fame.
I told you people are cheap. So,
So
like you could-
300,000
like-
seems expensive to me.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, you know, to stay in the house.
Two to 5,000. I'm
I
double.
see,
2 to 5,000.
I can't. I
You know,
cannot.
that's probably what the pay
I cannot for
Oh,
30 people.
hell
30,
no.
30 people.
You know,
and
that's-
they cutting half of them the first night.
is. But you know that's probably the price of like some reality
300
TV shows.
So that's what they think they worth? I am definitely
I'm not-
worth more than this.
Now I'm not saying that's the price. I'm
ain't
thinking.
going
Of,
to-
I'm,
even if that,
I'm not exposing myself like that.
even if that, I'm not guarantee it's a lot of people who would go in for $2,000 to $3,000 to go on a reality television
now
show.
if you're there for a
man.
night, because again, half of them are leaving that night. I mean, now you're basically getting rejected on national television, but for $2,000-3,000, good way to make money
Yeah,
a day.
but I mean, unless it's a case of a dude, it's probably not going to be a hard rejection. If it's a woman, it's probably not going to be a hard rejection because that dude still got to go in society, and we look down on stuff like that. If it is the dude getting rejected, oh, it's going to be epic in most cases. And
Man.
I
But
done
you
see,
can't put
I done seen
you
something in
can't
real
put
life.
all women in that project of I'm gonna go on TV for this amount of money.
No, I'm saying I said average person across the board. I'm not even talking about just women. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like, and the men probably even cheaper, especially some of the young dudes.
Right.
Hey, 1,000 too much.
Because there's no way
Hey,
in hell.
here's $150.
There's no way.
I wouldn't be surprised, but that's pretty low for
That's
us.
Drinking money,
But
no
it's
way.
also
drinking money.
Yeah, because I mean, ideally, when you're making a reality show, you're trying to get like what made it blow up is they were making I forgot what I think it's American Idol. It's not hard to produce, get people who want to sing, and they would get numbers that was killing primetime television shows.
Yeah, because the numbers would go down once they get to the finals. Everybody wanted to watch the people who couldn't sing. They wanted to watch them make a fool of themselves.
At first, now that's the case now.
Oh, it was the case at the
first-
beginning too.
At first, yeah, but
Probably
people
after the
invested were more invested at first.
After
Yeah.
the second season, it was probably like all that. Like first season, it was probably a mixed bag
It probably was the first
I think
season.
because I mean their ratings were
because it was new. It was
Yeah.
new.
But
So-
I think it's to the point where they got to when you were like, I think when somebody had this conversation with you, go, so how many people who won American Idol who just were legit got a career?
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly and I think the country singer here.
Yeah.
She's like huge, and I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, she ain't that big then.
Oh no, she's huge in country.
she's big.
Yeah, but I'm saying she ain't that big then.
She just, I mean, she just
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie. That's her name. She's probably the biggest.
Oh yeah, because she married to the Prez dude.
Oh,
But nobody,
Dr-
people know her as Carrie and not.
they know Carrie
I'm
more
like,
than
you
the
know,
dude on the Prez is Stedman. Carrie's Oprah in this
not,
situation.
Not Nashville. He ain't.
Oh no, and trust me, and that I have seen she come out and women faint. I have seen it. She just people lose their mind with her. And with Nashville, which thing I like about Nashville, celebrity. I think this is why celebrities like moving here.
Yeah, celebrities.
People don't really bother you here.
Yeah, they be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
and,
like,
and,
hey,
and,
move along.
and they walk off.
Yeah.
And especially with country sing, they're really approachable. You almost forget they're famous. Kelly, something else. And it's the only artist I've ever seen, and I've met like Blake Shelton. I confused him for a truck driver. Like, they just seem like normal people to me. But with her, it's like, somebody, okay, she's famous. But outside of like Kelly,
I'm
thinking, what guy on
when,
American Idol's done well?
when I know it's not an American Idol, but was it when Taylor Swift lived here for a little bit, but like she was the reason why they basically kicked all the paparazzi out of this place.
Wait, there was paparazzi here?
For a little bit. It was some people who came out of town, people like, nah, we ain't like that.
Because I heard at one
like,
point
get outta
TMZ wanted to,
Yeah, they're like, get out of here. Get out.
yeah, and they're like, yo,
Yeah, we don't play that.
they're like, go back where you came.
Yeah. They don't play that at all.
Right.
The Ruben Studdard is the one that I can think, and then there's a Jesse dude
Yeah.
that won. I think he beat Ruben. Ruben was like number 2 that year.
No, Ruben won
Did he?
that year. His year he won. Because I remember that sour ass song he had after he won.
Oh,
He did a
God.
Christmas album.
That was
too.
the longest.
He
That was the longest apology.
Look,
Yo,
he-
but that I'm sorry, 2004. He
So
dated
he won
it.
in 2004.
That was weak. I wish you hadn't even reminded me of that, man.
Oh, only reason I remember
I didn't
that.
say the song though. Kevin the one
No,
who
I
said
had
the song.
I remember the song because I had a friend go, do you know how bad you had to fuck to make a whole song called I'm Sorry and then date it?
For the year? You
For the
sorry?
whole
You sorry
year.
for the year?
You
you
fucked up
you sorry.
all year.
You sorry for your life. I'm like, yo,
You was fucking up while you was winning American Idol.
I'm like, yo, man, like this is your peak, and then you apologizing at your peak.
But my thing also is, why would they let him put that song out? Because that's
Oh, that song kind of hit.
yeah, it's a good
just-
song. But
now,
if you look at the meaning of that song,
you
It didn't.
look
It didn't
weak.
like win the test of time. Now you ain't finna bump in your. It's an awkward car ride if you
I'm
bumping
sorry
it now.
for 2004.
by yourself though.
Like,
If you,
nah.
hey, you can bump it in the car by yourself, but if somebody else in the
Even by-
car with you, that's a
Even by
different
myself,
story.
I feel
I'm like,
bad.
man, I'm like, you ain't streaming that.
I'm gonna need tinted windows to bump that. Like, I want nobody to see me.
It's like you gotta go, and you got like if you're gonna listen to something like that, you gotta go from extremes too. So you gotta be like, all right, Wu-Tang is for the children. After that, I mean, for real.
But at the same time, people
What?
get in their moods, and it might be that one lyric or that one verse that they need to listen to.
Listen to Music Soul Child. Then,
Oh, okay.
I mean, for real, for
Who
real.
wasn't on a reality show.
For real.
So let me also ask y'all this.
Who also became a rapper?
I'm
That's
just
another story
I'm not
within
even-
itself.
For
I-
so long.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to know.
I
about
don't
that.
even want to. No.
So, okay. Do y'all kind of feel that like reality TV is a bit voyeuristic?
It's absolutely.
Of course.
It's a train wreck. It's designed to be a train wreck. Like what you said earlier. We're gonna take this person, and we know these types of personalities don't like each other. We're gonna have them sleep on bunk beds.
In the same.
These grown ass human beings sleeping on bunk beds. I never even thought about this.
A small situation like that, and most of the time it'd be like a twin or a fool or whatever, and they put them in the same room. You'd be like,
Or in their confessionals, they'll go in and the producer will say, hey, this person said this, and this about you. How do you feel about that? And then they'll be like, oh my goodness, I did not know that they said this, and this about me. This is how I feel. And then they'll say, if they did say this, but of course they'll cut that out. But they'll say, if they did say this about me, well then this is what I think about this person. And then they'll air it. So they cut out that whole part of, if they did say this about me, then this is how I feel about them. Oh, reality television and editing it within itself. You gotta love it.
And so this is when people like, because again, I used to love watching Love and Hip Hop, and this is when a friend of mine would go, "Man, something off about this." He goes, "So if you had somebody you couldn't stand, you know, if you saw them hands on sight, you just for your peace, you're going to avoid certain places that they're at."
Of course.
He said, who the hell? It's like every damn year.
now they're making ice cream together.
No. It'd be like, no, I'd be like, look,
Something
me and
stupid.
here's the situation. Yeah, you know, me and her, we don't get along, you know, but you know what? We need to have a sit down. Who the has a sit down?
Nobody.
I'm like, the only
Nobody.
thing, the only time I could see that actually like meaning something is like, you know, that show Intervention.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, like that joint. That joint.
Or
Why do I deal with y'all, man?
They auto-tune that dude.
Why do I?
Yo, that's how I learned about the show. I was like, yo, that man is crying from the back of his ass.
Oh,
like,
man. Man, it was horrible. Oh,
his cry had bass in it. But
it has some twang in it too.
man, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was somewhere. The twang was like in the middle of it.
Because it was like I don't know, man. He cried from his diaphragm.
Yo, no, that was way past his diaphragm. That was from the back of his ass. Like that was like he felt that through his whole body. If someone cries like that, like yo, they need to see therapy for real. They gone through some stuff.
But yeah, it's reality television it's not going anywhere. Let's just be
Well, I
real.
mean, it's 2020. It really started blowing up in the 2000s,
Because it's cheap.
and it
Of course.
works.
It's cheap and it works.
It's cheap.
Who doesn't want to save money?
They don't care about money.
I'm talking about the
saving, but it's
networks and the show
They're
and the
making the max amount of money, but spending the less amount.
yeah. Who doesn't want to save money?
Now, as horrible as it sounds, it's good business. It's just, good business doesn't necessarily make.
You know, but honestly, if you hit on something the right way, then it's gonna make its money back. I mean, we all know like how movies do, like the movie studios. Like the difference now is all the stuff that's going on, but only 2 or 3 movies would make all the money back for the studios. Really?
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
how much money did you spend to get them?
Yeah.
It's like and those 2 or 3 movies are probably like comic book movies.
Now.
Because like something new, it's not like the 90s. You can put out a whole bunch of new films and pull up and maybe every now and then get something like a Good Will Hunting that blows up that people didn't know about from nowhere, and it's probably like 1 or 2 known actors or somewhere.
I don't even know if that did well in the theaters. It probably did okay. They probably broke even in the theaters, but it wasn't until like the DVD market.
Because it did win I know it was nominated for an Oscar.
That was like Blockbuster days, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was back in the
Yeah.
blockbuster days.
It's like right when Netflix like first had started.
Oh,
They was
no,
doing-
it was before Netflix.
They were
was
doing the joint in the
before.
mail.
that was
No,
before
no.
Netflix.
You're thinking Redbox.
No. Like Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
Net-
Was
Net-
it before Redbox?
Netflix was before Redbox.
Yeah, 'cause
they would mail it to you.
Right.
Okay.
You would
See,
go in and
okay.
they would pick a movie and they would mail it to you. You had to mail it back.
Yeah.
You could do 1, 3, or like 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like different tiers.
And to think, like Netflix tried to get Blockbuster to buy them,
Yeah,
and they turned it.
they turned them down because of hubris. If they had a bottom or whatever, Blockbuster would still been a thing.
And just think they just did.
And then even after that, Blockbuster like had their own like little division or whatever, just like Netflix. And Netflix came and made an offer to Blockbuster. And then something happened with Blockbuster itself. They changed like leadership, and then it just went to crap. There's a documentary on either, I can't remember if it's not on Netflix now, I don't think, or it may be, but I think I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's like Netflix versus everybody.
I saw like a podcast that was talking about that.
It was actually good. It was actually real good.
But oh god, you brought up something and I totally lost my train of thought. No, you brought up documentaries. Now, do you think of those as sort of a somewhat reality based?
Documentaries have to, like good ones anyway, have to be based in reality.
Yeah, it's reality, but it's like you're learning something from it also at the same time.
Yeah, you're definitely getting something out of it.
You're getting something out of it.
So, with a documentary, how do you go about doing that without like forcing the situation? Because you're basically following a person or a situation naturally.
I think the biggest thing, the best documentaries, they don't force anything, and that's why it probably takes a lot longer to create, because the story is supposed to come to you versus you creating the story. So that's one of the key differentiators between reality TV and documentary.
But it also could be a bit risky.
Yeah, I mean, look at Werner Herzog.
But at the same time, if they take more than a year to do.
Yeah,
they take more than a year to put together. I think maybe 2 or 3 years tops to complete.
The latest one on Malcolm X, I think that took like 10 years. I think that took about 10.
I mean, you got to do your research,
right?
Unless you got to study, like somebody with a degree, like certain level of degrees, like behind you already. And y'all been having these conversations, you know, I don't see that really coming together. I mean, if you live with the story for a long time, then that's probably be a quicker documentary. But if it's something that's like, because most of them start off as like an idea or a curiosity,
exactly,
and then you just go through exploring that. If you have no experience with it, there's no way you can put out a quality thing like that quickly. Unless you just have all the resources, like, you know, like you're in an office and that person's office is right here, this person's office is right here, and then somebody else is right behind you.
Right, because the documentary that I did, it took us about 3 years to completely, and that's even the research at first. Before we even started filming, we had to figure out who we were gonna have. We had to figure out their stories. We had to figure out where we were gonna tape them, you know, sit them down, talk to them. But you have to do the research before you even start filming in a documentary. And in reality television, they just, here's this idea right here. All right, cool. Let's go through these. Like the most they might do with reality TV is try to figure out who they're gonna put on the show. That's the most. Once they figured it out, they finna start filming. And right?
Most of the time with that, people coming to you anyway.
Right.
Like the documentary, you gotta go to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, if you got that brand like Love and Hip Hop, people are flying, can't wait to tell you their stories.
Certain types of people.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see no Bill Gates on there.
Well, no. I feel like when you get that kind of money, you want as much privacy as you can get. But
I'm saying like a Bill Gates type, like somebody with that personality.
Oh, a nerd. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Introvert, you know, like real, he make for boring TV anyway, because he ain't gonna say nothing too crazy.
Yeah, no. You know, it depends. It really depends. I believe that he is a very interesting person.
No, I'm not. I'm saying he would be.
But would you think he would be interesting on camera?
He wouldn't be confrontational in those situations, so it wouldn't be good for that audience or that type of deal. You put him on the real world or whatever, it'd be like, man, that dude's always to himself. And they will always show him probably as a loner or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at this dude.
Yeah.
He wouldn't work for
everybody. Oh, he's a weirdo.
Bill's a person you might want to sit down with and get a conversation out of.
Right.
And even then, you probably got to just
you can get some
talk
jewels.
some like
you can get some
get
jewels.
him used. You got to get him used to kind of comfortable talking, so it's probably gonna take about 15
Well, he's
minutes.
a public speaker also. So with public speakers,
But now,
period,
he probably got like what in the last 10 years, maybe.
but it's public speaking, not just in front of the camera where cameras are on you. Public speaking,
Just
is
when
like,
when you're like in front of people,
right.
and all that. Yeah.
So he would be a sit down interview would be nothing for him, and it wouldn't be awkward for him because he's a public speaker.
Yeah. But like on
But as far as putting him on a reality television, he would never do that anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like why would you expose yourself? It's not worth it.
Right.
and especially like an introvert kind of likes a bit of control.
Right.
And
Exactly.
when you on these shows, you have
A bit.
I mean,
you ain't getting
the
nothing.
money kind of heightens it, but just a
But
regular.
it's not real money though. I mean, because like, is it?
I was talking about Bill Gates. You
is
talking
it-
about go ahead.
Is it change your life money? Like when I'm talking about the money or whatever, I'm not talking about the Bill Gates. I'm talking about the money that people get to be
From
on
these
the
shows, yeah.
And then what is it? One of the cats that was on Jersey Shore. I listened to a podcast he was on.
Yeah.
And he was talking about like cats that got addicted to be on those reality TV shows because they get that dopamine and they feel like they're famous.
You'll probably see one guy be like on 3 or 4 random reality shows.
selling their souls for that little
That's
bit
just
of
like
attention.
The Miz.
That crack
The
attention.
Miz was on every single.
He was on The Real World, but he actually because he wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Ever since
and
The
he
Real World.
used it. He used to actually become a wrestler.
Which that's smart, but at the same time, he was on every single what was it after The Real World, the challenge.
Yeah.
He was on every single season.
He was on the bus first, right? Or where they did the road rules, whatever.
Road Rules, Real World.
I think he was on Real World, and then they did like one of those crossovers.
Yeah.
But he was on every single
Oh,
season
there
of
is-
all those shows.
Yeah, and
There's one guy, and I think he's like he probably came on like the 2nd season of Real World. He was on all of those. If they're still doing it, he's probably still on there.
I think I know who you're talking about.
they still got the gauntlet going.
He's probably still on that gauntlet.
And those now were the last time I seen like a gauntlet or a challenge or anything. They say, well, these are the veterans, and it was one season where they had like veterans versus the new guys, and that's how they put it in to keep them on the shows. And it's just my opinion is it's just a point where you just got to give it up.
I'm like, man, ain't your arthritis gonna kick in?
Man, what?
It should have kicked in like 2008.
I mean, for real, man. Like, yo, man. Like, I'm like, yo, my back will be killing me, man.
I got back problems now,
I'm
and
like-
those
I'm
people
like,
are
man.
like they're almost in their 50s. They're in their late
I know
40s
they're-
right
I
now.
know they're in their 40s.
I'm
at
like,
least.
man. So why in the world are you selling out like that?
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
Yo, it don't look like it's worth it to me at all.
But I mean, like they probably got in at like what 19, 20, 21.
yeah, but I'm like, it's not a career. It's like
They made
it's-
it one.
It's like,
Like,
nah,
technically,
nah, it's not. It's still not a career. You almost like a day laborer. You get some work every 6 months. Like, it'd be like,
I mean, you're freelancing, but
I mean, for real. Hey, look. I'm telling you right now. You hustle some crops on the farm. You probably got just as much work as these
now
cats.
if you
I'm
make
not
that
saying
into a
not
challenge,
that
I'm
money.
sure they'll do it.
That's some hard work, man.
Hey, yeah.
You brought up Jersey Shore, and I almost felt like they wanted it to be something because that was one that's probably blown up,
Yeah, they had a bunch of spinoffs off of it.
and
And they're back together.
Yeah.
they had to pay. I think they probably got paid more
Mm-hmm.
outside of like the Kardashians.
Well, I think that's all attributed to like probably their contract. So they families was probably smart enough to put them in the right
Well,
position.
because I mean they was like college age, so
Yeah, but
I
I'm saying
think
they family though.
no, this was them because they all and usually like they would try like scripted shows would try this, but you got to have like the whole cast kind of be down to do it. No, we're a thing now. Like we're a
Yeah,
thing.
but I'm saying
And
like,
they were like-
where they get that from though.
But they were like, yeah, we're not recording until we get this amount of money.
Yeah, but I'm saying where they get that from though. They didn't come up with that being 19-year-olds. It's probably their parents who there to instill that in them. Be like, oh,
Yeah,
they approaching
I can
you.
believe that.
Yeah.
Like, be like, hey, you're gonna get more leverage or whatever if you do this, because I'm pretty sure they're on the East Coast, So they probably understand that whole union thing instead of trying to make a union.
And
they
that,
just
but
like,
see,
they
and
just
that's another
unify.
thing. I don't think you become a reality TV star, and then get on SAG as well. So it's also, you can pay them free willy, but I'm pretty sure somebody in their family goes, yo, I'm watching this on TV, and I saw like MTV is making hundreds of millions off of this.
So now when you
What do y'all
renegotiate,
get?
you be like, look, check this out. You already made X amount of dollar off on us. You're already ahead. Now we want something on the back end. And we ain't asked for nothing too crazy with there. No Jerry Seinfeld numbers. We want this.
No, I think they got
Nah, they ain't get no
like,
Jerry Seinfeld.
No,
numbers.
million,
Nah, they ain't get no Seinfeld numbers.
Cause I know they got millions to do like around.
Yeah, but they ain't rolling around in no 3 Porsches, in each of the townhouses.
Now it could have just been like
brownstones.
I don't know if it's a per episode or just a season thing. Which ideally,
No, they got some real money now. But I'm saying they ain't getting no Seinfeld numbers.
but God, I wish I looked into that.
They living comfortably on the regular.
They're living comfortable as anybody who's done reality television.
Yeah, basically.
more so.
Yeah.
They are probably the gold standard as far as like.
Kardashians may be the gold standard.
Nah,
Cause they've all built brand, and ideally, and I'm pretty sure that's how you sell it. You can build your brand off of it.
I don't know if they built brands. Now, if you say Kris Jenner built brands, plural, yes, because she's the one to put them in position for that.
And then there's I should know these girls' names, but I don't.
Chloe, Kendall.
The one who got the makeup company.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the Kardashians like that.
I know of it, but I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, see, I just know the oldest two. But the one who's with Travis Scott, like she's got I think she kind of marketed her makeup company, and blew up off of that. I think another one has somewhat of a clothing line, but it's like that's because they're getting ready to end their show now because they literally cannot pay them what they're worth. That's how big they are now.
But at the same time,
They used it.
at the point,
They used it masterfully.
that's what smart people do.
Because
they go in and they use a show or they use what they got.
Because of the mother.
Yeah. And she's
she's the architect behind all that.
all of it. I mean, she had a plan at first.
Yeah.
That was
And
a
then
plan at first.
she's like, all right, we're gonna take it, we're gonna do it like this. You see it like branching off. You go take some of that. You still got some of this.
Right.
You attach your stuff with somebody else.
And now they're American icons.
I wouldn't be surprised if OJ gave her that advice.
OJ.
Nah, OJ. Mm-mm.
Nah, I don't think she's. God, have y'all seen his Twitter?
No,
Nah,
I don't know.
I'm cool.
No.
I don't follow, but it's like
I'm
he'll talk on Twitter.
I'm cool.
Like we can now. There's a reality show there.
No,
that whole case.
No, they like they
that was a whole.
they were gonna go down that route and it got shut down several times.
I don't know. I mean the case because you see a lot of court television.
A bunch of people were talking about like doing it and bringing him in, but they were like, it's insensitive to the family.
Doing what?
Like bring him, talking about like his experience, like with the case, and like breaking down stuff. I think they even talked.
They
about
did
him, like,
something. They just didn't air it.
They're talking about like, him coming in and breaking down like other cases. I'm like, oh man, no, please don't.
God,
That would be terrible.
Don't do that.
Do you really want to hear OJ go now? That guy should have gotten a lawyer.
You like
His
man,
lawyer sucked.
Oh man, like that dude right there is guilty. He's guilty as sin. He's guilty as sin. He'd be like, it'd be like a Dave Chappelle skit, and then there'd be like two sports commentators, and they just look over at him. Back to you, Bill.
A rental? What are you doing? But yeah, they did like because he had the book. Well, I didn't do it, but if I had done it, they did a whole television special on it, and I think somebody said, "There's no way in hell we're airing this."
Well, like right before that stuff happened, he did the 60 Minutes interview with Barbara Walters and pretended like he was stabbing her with banana. Yeah, like this a thing. Yeah, go ahead, YouTube.
That's the thing. I believe you.
Go ahead, and YouTube that. And she looked terrified. And I was like, I was watching that. I was like, why would you do that? I like whisper it to myself.
I'm telling, like, if you see
There's
him
nobody
on
else
Twitter,
in the room.
he talks as if he completely, like, we all forgot. He's like, they don't know.
He's like, I'm OJ.
We should end it off with that, but no. So
Please don't let us end this off with an
Go ahead,
OJ story. Please give us something else to end this
I'm
off with.
end it off with asking you all this. So reality television has been booming for about 20 years now. So what do you see like the next 10 years of the next 10 years? Do you see it still being how it is now?
Of course.
It's completely voyeuristic, and as long as I can point to somebody else's life and watch their train wreck, I don't have to deal with mine. Sometimes that's part of it. In some cases, other cases it's like, oh man, I can't look away, and I'm like, I don't like it. And I watch clips here and there or whatever, like, but somebody got to put that on YouTube. I'm not taking my time. And like, I've been watching a lot of video essays about stuff. Like, my 600-pound life was one of them that I recently like watched somebody do a breakdown of. And this one lady, she's like 5-something, and she was trying to get that surgery, the stomach surgery, the lap band joint.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's in the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, look, you didn't follow any of the orders, like none of that stuff. We can't do the surgery. So she starts crying, and she has a boyfriend, and she's like, you messed this up for me. I'll never forget.
You always
you.
have a boyfriend.
And then she called.
That's what I'm saying.
She called the mother, and that dude looked dead inside. He's just like staring off into nothing.
You know what?
And then
I think I remember that episode.
She called the mother and was like, he messed everything up. I'm like, where's your personal responsibility? I'm like, cause like for real, cause he can only do so much. He tried to support you.
Yeah, that's mostly every episode of that.
I'm like,
That's
man,
every episode of
I
that.
do not want to watch that.
And then
Do not curse me with that negativity.
it's
I watched
just
the
funny.
video essay, whatever, the breakdown, and I was like, all right, that's enough of that.
It's just funny. That's all it is.
I need to work
But
on
it's going nowhere. Reality TV is going to be here forever because everybody has something sad in their life, and they just want to see somebody else with something sad in their life. So they would rather laugh at I would rather laugh at your mess than to have to deal with mine.
There's actually a word for that. I just saw it the other day. It's gaining pleasure from somebody else's misery.
Exactly.
I think it comes from the German word or something like that. It kind of remind me, it's like Resplenda or something like that. Something weird.
Unfortunately, I kind of agree with you, but I kind of think two ways of it. I think, yeah, we do like to look at the misery of others. But I also think it because, I mean, for like the last 10 years, I feel like reality television is just trying to push the boundary. Let's see how far we can go.
Yeah, like Howard Stern did back in the day. But
Yeah.
then when he went to a certain point, like we are right now, like how you gonna push the boundaries? Like everything's
See,
like,
that's what I think. It's like
everything's on the table.
we're so because like with Howard Stern's a great example. Howard Stern can't really shock us anymore.
Nah.
We're pretty much desensitized.
Well, part of it too is like he's on a place where he's completely unedited. So now he has no boundaries to push. Like the biggest thing he did was put other people on, and they actually carried the football like a lot further, and like underneath his flag or umbrella.
And I think that's interesting, the fact that he's gone to somewhere where he's completely unedited, and it's like there's nothing he could do on that platform that could shock us.
Yeah, but it's like it's weak sauce now. It's like nobody cares anymore.
He's Uncle Howard. Like, oh, that's just Howard being Howard.
I don't know about no Uncle Howard.
It's more of a phrase. He's just somebody we're used to.
Nah, I ain't doing no Uncle Howard.
But I mean, he's someone we're used to.
Like Hugh Hefner, Uncle Hugh.
And
Hey, Uncle Hugh.
Who?
I
wow.
wouldn't.
Hey, because he was
Not even his women would call him
No.
Uncle Hugh.
So
Say what?
So when we were younger, we all the young boys wanted to be like Hugh Hefner.
wearing a smoking coat.
They want to be the suave playboy.
I
the
ain't gonna
brand.
lie, that smoking coat was player.
Oh, the
Real,
man know
like-
how to dress.
I'm
But
like,
have you ever just looked at the story of Playboy?
have an ascot,
So the
like a diamond in the middle.
the first person that was on the magazine was Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
And, he bought the photos from another guy who took photos from her years ago. and just put him out there without her permission. Now,
She didn't mind, did she?
no, she hated that he did that. Because I mean, think about it. You just found out. I mean, she took these photos when she was just a struggling actress.
Man, this sounds like Vanilla Ice a little bit.
It's a little creepy.
Under
But
pressure.
and she finds out when you just walking around see a magazine and pretty much a naked or half naked, however they considered that at the time, photo of yourself just randomly at a bookshelf.
It didn't take that much. You know, like you get a little bit of calf action.
So
dudes
my
just, like,
question
getting
is,
excited.
when she took these photos, what were these photos for? Since she was beginning to model.
Yeah, that's just beginning modeling stuff.
See, but you
So the fact is, she took those photos because she was modeling.
She
So
was. Now, she thought it was for this photographer.
at the same time.
So no, this was legally fine.
Okay,
So because he just bought them from a photographer who owned the photos.
gotcha.
But they never but putting them on a magazine, they didn't like talk to her. They didn't let her know about being on a magazine.
But those were his photos, though, right?
Yeah. So legally,
Yeah.
Now I think if you're gonna put someone on a magazine, you gotta let them know.
Yeah, like if anything, courtesy. Like she could. I mean, you could absolutely.
I don't now.
You could absolutely sign your the rights to the photos away to where they could appear anywhere, but that would have to be specifically in a contract. But I'm saying, like back then,
Yeah.
the contract law, all that stuff hadn't evolved into now. That's why, that's why I brought up the Vanilla Ice, because it's like, he had the little symbol in there.
But
It's like,
when I bring up Hugh was like obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe didn't really care for this dude. So I think she felt a way about him putting her in that magazine without her knowing about it. So you know where Hugh Hefner is buried at now? Right next to Marilyn Monroe.
Well, you know,
So
That's
imagine
very-
that
that's very
annoying,
weird.
creepy dude been
That's
trying to
very
get
weird.
at you for years, and now you're buried right next to him.
You don't care.
right?
I don't know about that, but he's. If you ever hear him talk about Marilyn Monroe, you would have thought they at least dated for years. She could not stand that dude, and now they're buried.
You
side
know,
by side.
at the same time, nah, we can end the episode. I ain't gonna say that.
I was gonna say something too,
Well, nah.
but I am gonna be dignified.
Right, I'm
not
gonna be
saying
very
anything.
So,
dignified.
okay, we're gonna end this on a dignified note. We will see you all next time on Fuck It. We will fix it in post.
Yeah.